Hey guys, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. It's me, Alex Whiteley, and thank you very much for joining us. Today, joining me is Cerin Mills from Art to Live. I have to get your name right. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Art to Live has been something I've been wanting to get involved with for a long time. It's just never come about for some reason. It's the same old story with the biscuit. We have all these amazing things around us, and this is the opportune moment, I think, to break the ice and get involved, because Christmas coming around the corner, the evenings are getting colder and darker. People will want to find ways to sort of relax a bit. So thank you very much, Cerin. Maybe we can discuss what you guys got planned later on in the show.
Sure, no problem. Thanks very much for inviting me to talk to you, Alex. It's great. So I'll give a little bit of an overview maybe of Arts Alive for the listeners.
Please do, yeah.
So Arts Alive is an organisation that's been going for 20 years, 21 years actually. And our main reason for being is to bring professional live performance work into rural areas across Shropshire and Herefordshire. But also we have a flagship project which brings screened events into rural areas, and that's called Flicks in the Sticks. We're a national portfolio organisation, so we get regular funding from the Arts Council. And during the course of an ordinary year, not a year with a pandemic in it, but in an unusual year, we'll screen up to 1,000 films, and we'll have over 150 live events.
That's amazing.
So it's quite a lot across the two counties. We rely entirely on fantastic local volunteer hosts or promoters who take the lead in terms of selecting what they think their communities will like, what will make a really good night out for their communities. And that's both film and live performance. And yeah, that's it in a nutshell, really. So we've been going a long time. It's a formula that works very well. It's bringing that professional cultural experience to your doorstep, really.
And the purpose, I guess, the purpose being, keeping everything in a small community rather than having to drive to a big town to go and take part in culture and enjoy the art.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose, although there is Theatre 7 in Shrewsbury and there's the Courtyard in Hereford, not everybody can access those facilities in particular. Yeah. Certainly driving to Birmingham might be out of some people's range in terms of either having a car or the costs involved. So what we are able to do is to bring really, really high quality professional work, dance, theatre, music, storytelling, and the screenings, of course, which includes live screening from the National Theatre or from the Royal Opera House, from the Royal Shakespeare Company. Streaming that quality of work right into your village hall is pretty extraordinary, isn't it? Really, you don't need to go to London to see those things. You can see it in Much Birch Village Hall or Clungunford Village Hall or Basschurch. So I think it's the fact that we're bringing work to the people in those communities, which means they can largely walk to their village hall or a short drive or cycle. But it's about developing that community experience, everyone having that collective experience of enjoying what we hope will always be a really good night out. And there's an enormous amount of it which is around that social aspect. It isn't just the product, the cultural offer that people are interested in. It's being a part of something which we're so dearly missing at the moment, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going to bring up cinemas and talk about the cinema experience, but obviously things have been well and truly rocked over the last year or so. But I mean, when you go to the cinema, there's always a special experience. The smell of popcorn and the excitement in the air of what you're going to watch. That's a very magical thing. But I imagine someone that's of the older generation, cinemas now are not what they used to be. There's big screens everywhere. There's noise, there's lights, there's arcade machines, there's all sorts going on. It might be overwhelming for people. So if they could have that cinema experience, like you said, on their doorstep, that really is, I think, a really, really good service.
Yeah. So quite a few of our village halls have their own projection equipment that Arts Alive have helped them purchase, and large screens, really good quality sound. But we also have a team of technicians who will bring the equipment to village halls that don't have that infrastructure. So, if you're a village hall and you're wanting to be involved with a cinema screening, don't let it put you off if you haven't got any of that kit. We've got the kit. We can lend you that kit. We can provide someone to set it all up and make sure it's all working for you. We also source the film rights and make sure that all of that side of things is dealt with in a legal and appropriate manner. And we provide posters. We do an enormous a lot of the administration that will support people to put on that local event. And the same is true for the live side of things. We produce a brochure. We help with the advertising. We work with Think Tank, who are a marketing company based in Buildwas, who help us get press releases out about the shows and give us interviews on the radio to help promote the events for the local promoters. So in some cases, people might travel quite a long way to see a show, which isn't necessarily in their own village hall, but it's still nearer than Birmingham.
Yeah, the guys at Think Tank are amazing. That's how we've made our introductions. Is they wanted me to get involved with Jean Atkin, who came on our show actually after she did her poetry and her amazing bits that she does. But we were late, so we missed the event. But we still had her on anyway to talk about what she does. And that's kind of how we've kind of met, because Think Tank.
Great, yeah, Jean is remarkable, local poet, and so we commissioned her to do a lockdown poem, and that was drawing on the experiences and reflections of some of our audiences and the things they were going through during lockdown, and we fed all of that material to Jean, who in her own inimitable way consolidated it into a really very beautiful piece of writing, for posterity. It's a piece of history right there.
She was a remarkable person to speak to, and I felt really privileged to have interviewed her. I wrote a poem for her, and she critiqued it for me in front of my face.
Well done.
She really liked what I did, so I don't know if she was being polite or not. But yeah. And Beth Heath, obviously, we had on the show last week. She's amazing, and Shropshire Think Tank just offers so much to the county. They really do. So when it comes to the community and the people you've over the 20 years sort of amassed the fans of what you do, what's that community like? Are they really feeling the effects of this year?
Yeah, I'm certain that they are. Again, some of those thoughts that Jean gathered state very clearly that people are missing that sense of camaraderie and being together and shared experience. And while we've tried to, still offer opportunities for people to engage, it's just never the same. Like you were talking about smelling the popcorn. It's just not the same, is it, as being somewhere live if you're watching on a screen in your own living room. But the Arts Alive at Home series that we've offered right the way starting back in April, 2 different events every month where people can zoom in and look online at a piece of theatre or some music or some story. In most cases, they were pre-recorded events, but after the opportunity to watch them, we had a live Zoom with some of the creators from the show, which meant that people could talk to each other and to the creatives that had made the show or been in the show.
That's amazing.
So well, at least that gave us that collective experience of feeling like we were all experiencing something together. We had there's been lots of really great ones, but one that perhaps stands out. I have an old historical link with Scottish Ballet, which is Scotland's national ballet company. And they gave us permission to share online a Kenneth Macmillan ballet called The Fairy's Kiss. And straight after our audiences watched that, it was just an hour long, Beth, who was the principal dancer, appeared in the Zoom room, and our audiences were able to ask her questions about the show and rehearsals and her feet and her ballet shoes. And it was, really interesting behind the scenes, if you like, insight into that production.
How fascinating. I really like that.
Yeah.
Where you went to the cinema, you wouldn't have, the director just suddenly walked on me, maybe if you're in LA, but you wouldn't get that here in Telford or Shrewsbury.
No. And equally, one of our kind of regular performers on the Arts Alive circuit, Louise Jordan, who's an amazing singer-songwriter, she'd been developing a show about Florence Nightingale. And she, especially for Arts Alive, for an at-home event, she gave us about a 45-minute preview from her living room to ours of her show, and we were able to talk to her about that and how that was developing. So yeah, I think there's been some really good opportunities that people have been able to engage with. You mentioned when we were just off air, but before we started, our virtual variety show, which is happening on the 7th of November. This is going to be an absolute hoot. So two performers that go by the stage names of Victor and Albert, who in real life are actually identical twin brothers. And the most extraordinary, really talented musicians and comics are going to be doing an hour's show from their living room, live, online, and people can tune in just for £5. You buy a ticket online on the Arts Alive website. As many people in your home, your community, of your bubble can watch all together and have a good old laugh. Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So a great thanks to those performers for offering that opportunity. We would have been touring them live for 4 shows between now and Christmas, but of course we can't. So at least this is one way of us giving a fee to those performers and an opportunity for them to perform, albeit virtually.
That's what I was going to say. You say thank you to Victor and Albert. I say thank you to you for putting the infrastructure into, because, you know, a lot of people might scoff at, £5, but you would have had to pay probably a lot more to go in the door, to go.
Yeah, that's right. And it's £1 per household. So, you know, if there are 6 of you there, you're all watching, and so that's £5 well spent, I think.
I think so too. And, you know, people are learning more and more ways to enjoy something, you know, on Facebook or Zoom or whatever else on the big screen now. It's easy to just share the screen off your phone, off your tablet, off your laptop, whatever.
That's right.
You can take something that may look like, I don't know, look like a Zoom chat like what we're doing now, and turn it into an actual TV experience and enjoy it. So I think the possibilities there for the family to sit down and enjoy a bit of entertainment together is brilliant. I love that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope you'll be tuning in, Alex, with your son there.
I did have the press conference. I did have the press release through. So yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Great. But I mean, obviously, nothing beats a live show, and we were very fortunate, kind of in between a window of the initial stages of lockdown and then things developing as they are at the moment. At the end of August, we were able to take a show out on the back of a lorry. So we did a mini tour. We did about 6 performances where we literally used a curtain-sided lorry, parked it up in different venues, part of the Ludlow Fringe Festival over at Telford Shopping Centre, down at one of our village halls in Briley. And the performer, Andrew Purvin, who's the artistic director of the Fetch Theatre Company, shared a one-man show with us, East of the Sun and West of the Moon. Absolutely brilliant. An outside show, 30 in each audience, socially distant, keeping very safe, being very mindful of not contamination. We used track and trace processes, and everyone had a thoroughly good time. So we have done some live during lockdown, which has been great. And at the end of November, we've got planned a little mini winter festival of stories and songs that we're presenting at the Spark Theatre in Bishop's Castle. So down in South Shropshire, Spark Theatre, run and managed by Enterprise House in Bishop's Castle, working with a brilliant local promoter, Liz Still. And on the Friday night, we've got the folk duo Whalebone, who you may have heard of, who are a folk duo based in Shropshire, with Jean Aitken, that we've mentioned, who are performing something called Understories, which is a really beautiful musical collection of poems. And then following them, we've got Allow, which is a really well-known Welsh folk trio. So that's a great night for those two. On the Saturday, we've got lunchtime stories with lunch provided by local storytellers Sal Tonge, Amy Douglas, Helen East and Rick Wilson.
Sal's been on our show before. She's great. I love her.
Yeah, so with a sandwich and a pint, you can have some stories while you eat your lunch. Then the Fetch Theatre are presenting something for families in the afternoon, their performance of Peddler's Tales. And then in the evening, we've got Scottish and Irish performers coming down and coming over. Wendy Weatherby and Sandy Brechin, who are very, very well known on the Scottish circuit, very popular musicians. And then Michelle Burke and James Ross, who are international artists. Michelle's a singer-songwriter from Cork, and James is a pianist, and they're going to do a smattering of parlour songs, new songs, tunes, and in Michelle's words, shenanigans. So there's lots there for people to enjoy.
I love this. This is what I really adore about these kind of interviews, especially through this pandemic, is seeing people not giving up the fight, and not only just not giving up the fight, but actually prospering. And who comes up with these ideas to take an Arctic lorry and be like, we'll turn it into a stage? Who's responsible for these ideas?
That'll be me. That'll be my bonkers head.
How fantastic, though, you know?
Yeah, and just, Alex, I just want to keep being able to do what we do. You know, I'm a live programmer. I'm a live events programmer. That's my job title. Yeah. And if I can't be programming live events, I have to think of really creative ways of doing it differently. So that's very much what I've been trying to do. We've got a mad notion, and there may well be a listener listening that could help us with this. We would like to create a show for an ice cream van. So it could tour in the ice cream van, and you would literally stand outside in a small huddle, be a small audience, and there would be a little show presented at the window of the ice cream van. But because they have such a brilliant PA system, you can hear an ice cream van for miles, can't you?
Yeah.
We've got the infrastructure, it's all ready to roll. And maybe afterwards people can buy an ice cream.
So do you have an ice cream van adapted, or are you looking for something?
No, we don't. So if there's anyone listening out there that would like to help Arts Alive fulfill my bonkers idea of a show in an ice cream van, we've got a show ready. We've got the ideas. We've got the villages to tour to. Just need a van.
I might know just the person.
Oh, wow, enough. This would be good.
We had a few weeks ago, we had Mr. T from Wrexham, who is he's a guy that creates a massive craze whenever he turns up, because his ice cream is one of a kind, and he travels Shropshire, and every time he turns up to Shrewsbury, there's a queue all the way down Sundorne, and he's amazing at what he does. Maybe it's worth I drop him a line, and maybe
well, do connect us. That would be great. I mean, I think we're talking about the spring and the summer for that madness rather than now, because it is. I'm looking out of my window, it's almost horizontal rain, but
yes.
The other thing that Arts Alive are planning to do is we're going to be buying a tent. We're going to buy a really, really large stretch tent next year, if funds permit. And we're going to have a kind of festival once a month where we put lots and lots of events in under canvas. And then that way we can really, really be mindful of the COVID restrictions, of social distancing, of plenty of ventilation. But we're all covered. None of us are going to get wet, neither the performers or the audience. So we're just in the process of writing some funding applications to make that happen, because obviously that is quite a cost and a big capital investment. So
of course,
that's the way we're hoping to go.
These things can happen. I mean, we did the Shropshire virtual show in Much Wenlock, and that was an amazing thing to see, because it was at the Cavalier Centre, which is huge indoor/outdoor arena, and they had meter by meter squares all set out across the arena. They had the stage, and everyone had a great time. Everyone was safe, and it went to show that you can do this. You can do this and have fun safely.
And you can, but I think we have to be really mindful that there's still an awful lot of village halls which are closed, because the government guidelines indicate, that deep cleaning would be required. There's quite an epic list, a checklist of things that people need to do in order to be able to reopen their village halls. And actually, that's prohibitive for quite a number of these smaller communities.
Yes.
So we've also got to be mindful, I suppose, as well, that a lot of the Arts Alive audience demographic are, by the very nature of people attending things in village halls, older.
Yes.
And they don't feel safe yet to come out and mix in groups, and that is absolutely to be respected. So I think we're a long way off in terms of reopening the big full-scale year-round live events and flicks program. But we are beginning to see promoters wanting to put film on, some promoters putting film on, and as I say, working very closely with Liz at Spark in Bishop's Castle on this winter festival.
And what can people do to get involved? Are you still looking for like volunteers or anybody that can help you guys out, or have you guys just got it nailed?
Well, I think the thing is, if people are listening and they're really interested in being a volunteer for an Arts Alive event, the they can go on our website and they can find all of the village halls that do promote. You just can type in your own postcode and it will then bring up the village hall that is already working with us. And we can make those connections. Or people are very welcome to email me, Cerin@artsalive.co.uk, and Cerin is spelled Cerin. And we could connect people up that are interested in volunteering or stewarding or being part of, what is a very big machine, really, across the 2 counties. And we will just keep going until some kind of new normal returns and resumes. But until then, everything that we're doing is on our website. Do look, do check. It's artsalive.co.uk. And you can click on an event and find out more details, particularly about the Winter Festival and the virtual variety show. Sorry about my noisy dogs in the background.
I was going to say, if you could have heard a growling through what Karen's talking, then it wasn't me.
Yes. No, it definitely wasn't Alex. I have 2 young Labradors who
beautiful
tend
dogs.
to like to join in the conversation.
So you're saying with the entertainment that you're bringing to people's doors, with the Zoom style sort of joining in, watching a thing and speaking to, how do people get involved with that? How can they find the links for that and get admission?
Yeah, so those are all on our website. So with the variety show that's coming up on the 7th of November, you purchase a ticket. That means that we'll have your email details, and then we will send you a Zoom link for that night, which will enable you to both be part of the viewing of the actual show and then in conversation with Victor and Albert after the show.
Oh, that'd be really good. That would be really good. I'd love to get them on the show. Maybe you can hook me up later. Speak to them. They sound like a lot of fun. They sound like a lot of fun. When you're not doing this, when you're not planning events, because obviously you haven't had as many events to do this year, but you've still been working really hard by the sounds of it. What do you like to do to distract yourself? Is it always like, oh, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Or do you like to find ways to switch off?
Yeah, no, I'm quite good at switching off. I live actually in Wales. I'm just on the Welsh-Shropshire border, but into Wales. So I'm in lockdown at the moment, as is the whole of Wales. I do lots of walking. I love walking. We live in a very beautiful part of the country. I write poetry. I've recently completed a 6-week course with Jean Aitken. She runs an online poetry course. So I've had a nice outlet for some creativity in terms of writing. And I'm writing a book, just starting to write a book because I have some time to do that, which is nice. I have children and I have grandchildren, so there's never a dull moment. A busy life. And I'm getting married in December, so there's planning to do.
That's fantastic. I mean, because I often find that sometimes I go to work for a rest. It's kind of like good to get out the crazy house, just go to work and be like, oh, concentrate on something else for a little bit. But it's either one way or the other, isn't it? Go home to get away from work, or go to work to get away from home.
Well, I've been working from home since March, so I've been at home for months and months and months.
And how's it been for you? Because it's quite difficult for some, isn't it, to be at home? But as the fact that you've been having to adapt and looking for new ways to do things sort of help?
Yeah, I mean, I think because I'm busy, I've been fine. I think if I had been a single parent in a tower block in Tower Hamlets, South London, home educating or homeschooling my 3 children, I would have absolutely gone mad. But because I've got the luxury of a home with some space, with a view, with dogs as a good reason to get out and about, I've been fine. And Ian Kerry, who's the executive director of Arts Alive, and I have remained working all the way through. We've had to furlough the rest of the staff, but Ian and I have carried on regardless and putting these plans in place and looking to the future. We had a virtual trustees meeting on Monday, and we've got loads of plans going forward. We just need to get people safe and well and turn this country around, and then we can carry on as normal.
Well, there's a lot at stake, really, when you think of the community and what you guys offer, because like we just said, there's people that are shielding, been at home for months and months, weeks and weeks, and to have that opportunity to to take part or to enjoy entertainment that's been locally sourced and not your typical soaps, movies, things like that. But I mean, I know you're off the movies as well, but like to be able to have that option is really important to a lot of people. So, thank you guys for keeping on trucking and keeping on going because.
Oh, well, thank you, Alex. It's an absolute pleasure, and it's a real privilege to be able to work with communities. And sorry, the growling dogs really need to go out for a run.
That's good.
So we'll maybe round it up there, shall we?
Yeah, we should do. So I know you said people can go to the website. Where can they find the website, and what should they do?
Okay, yeah, it's just www.artsalive.co.uk, and all of the details are on there for people to see what we're currently doing. And if people want more information or have been interested in anything that we've been talking about today, they're very, very welcome to ping me an email, which is kerin@artsalive.co.uk.
Well, Cerin, you've been fantastic, and we'll love to help you in any way we can do. Yeah, thank you very much. Listeners, before we get out of here, I'm going to tell you about my website. I do every show. We're at www.the.shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our audio is available on there. We've got lots of changes coming to the Biscuit soon. Me and Shane have been constantly every sort of night we kind of have all these amazing ideas what we're going to do with the show. One of them is we're going to make some sort of epic trailer, movie style trailer for the Shrewsbury Biscuit. We've got loads of ideas that we're going to be doing, so make sure you keep looking at our website, which is made for us by Web Orchard, our friends there. I would like to give you guys the opportunity to get in touch with Chris Goff as well from CGR Business Solutions. He's helping us set things up officially and properly with the biscuit. So he's an amazing business. What's his official title? He offers business solutions. If you got a business and you need some advice and you need some consultancy, he will help you out. And he's doing lots of free events as well, lots of free sort of marketing advice things. So make sure you go to CGR Solutions. Have a look there. Cerin, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, this has been great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Brilliant. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.